Welcome to Road to Billions Podcast, the mentality of an entrepreneur. With your host, Moise Bertrand.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your host, Moise Bertrand of Road to Billions Podcast. I'm grateful for you guys to be checking in and listening to the Billions Podcast, man. It's always a pleasure when I'm seeing my streams go up and, of course, when people DM me and shout me out and just give me some good insight, man. I'm always grateful for you guys. But before I even start, I want you guys to rate, review, share this podcast with others. Let others know about this podcast, man. We're going into season 7 real soon in June. And when I tell you, man, there's been so much going on, man. I just feel like I just got to share it with you guys. But make sure you guys take care of that for me first and foremost, and I really appreciate it, you guys. So pretty much, today I'm gonna really go between topics, and I'm gonna really give you guys the insight of what I think about when I hear you have to be the bigger person sometimes. What does being a bigger person mean? A lot of people my age, we grow into tendencies of the bigger person is the person who doesn't say what they need to say, doesn't act the way they need to act. And, I just feel like that's a connotation in society we got to break. That's a stigma that we have to break, that you being a bigger person means you have to always, be that person to apologize and everything like that. But being a bigger person to me, to be honest, nowadays, as I'm getting older and just saying so many things, being a bigger person just means, how do you feel about the situation? How could you be, respectful about it in the most positive way, the most positive manner? And, I'm always looking for ways to improve myself, not only in the realm of podcasting, but in the realm of business and just the realm of networking and stuff. I'm not a person who really socializes as much. I had to come out the house a lot more and just network with people and lock in with people. But it comes to show you that, like, sometimes you got to come out your comfort zone to do what you haven't always been doing, because it's a habit. And it's habitual to say, I'm going to be the bigger person, I'm going to apologize. But I feel like being a bigger person doesn't necessarily mean you have to be the person who give in. I feel like the biggest person, actually, I'm sorry, guys, is the person who could set their foot down and establish boundaries to let others know, listen, I'm okay with just being over here by myself. I'm okay with just walking away. I'm okay with not saying another word to you. Because a lot of people, they feel as if like they have to have the last word. And, a lot of people, they feel like they have to be argumentative, and they have to be confrontational, and they have to be the person who has to stand up for the last thing they said. And I've been growing, I've been listening to my intuition, and some things you don't supposed to pay no mind to, no energy. And the reason I say this is because I had an incident the other day, and somebody said something very, 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 I'm going to say it to you. Somebody say some hating ass shit to me the other day. And somebody said, I can't do it. You can't do it without me. Somebody literally told me that. And, I took a moment to digest what they were saying, because I had to think from a point of view where I'm like, okay, Moise, why would this person feel like this? And do I care? And I didn't care. I told the person, okay, cool. And then I just kind of cut it short right there, because right there on the spot, me being a bigger person, and my definition is identifying what went wrong. What's the first red flag? And a lot of people, they collect too many red flags. So the bigger person, in my opinion, is someone who's just going to establish that boundary from the start. It doesn't have to get to a place where it has to be confrontational. It just has to be like, okay, this is how we're going. I'm just going to go ahead and politely remove myself from the premises of this conversation, because this conversation doesn't deserve my energy. I'm not this type of person, and I can't pay no mind to it, and you guys can't pay no mind to it. And a lot of people, they feel like, oh, I should curse them out. I would have said something, you better than me. And sometimes it's more power in silence than it is in rebuttal. A lot of people don't understand that, like, me not talking to you is going to hurt you more than me saying something more hurtful to you. Because if I'm able to take away my energy from you, my presence, and then the only thing left of me is a positive communication from my end, but on your end, you kind of distorted that. At the end of the day, I feel like the peace of mind I have is I was great. I was peaceful. I was respectful. I was positive. And that person is left with the burden of rethinking their decisions, or even keep moving on and doing that to the same person until karma catches up to them. And I feel like, you guys, you don't always have to have revenge in order to be the bigger person. You could just be the bigger person and just say, okay, you got it. Like being a bigger person doesn't necessarily mean you're going to step on somebody, you're going to beat somebody up. You're going to, you could always be the bigger person and say, you know what? I'm going to be the bigger person. I'm going to shut this shit down. I'm going to shut this conversation down because it's not going how I want it to, and I didn't envision it to go like this. So let me just go ahead and politely remove myself. And a lot of people, they have a hard time expressing themselves, but I never had a hard time expressing myself. And this podcast, as you guys can see, I talk to you guys because this is how I talk. Like I vent. This is my hobby. This is what I love to do. And a lot of people, they don't understand like the dynamics of conversation they have with other people, because a lot of people, they try to keep their face card, and face card for those who don't, who don't really speak the Geechee or the slang language. Face card is pretty much like your representation. What do others see you as? Like, are you a good person, morally noble, or you're an asshole? Are you fake? Are you anything that's gonna represent you, your name? And that's your face card. And you don't want nobody playing with that, with your reputation. And a lot of people fell victim to just understanding that they have to get the last word. And maturity comes from not from age, but from experience. Because I know a lot of people who aren't mature and they still 30, 35, 40. I still know people who are even younger than me who's way more mature than the people that I come in contact with sometimes. And I'm always asking them what made them so feel like an old soul at an early age. And they told me experience is what taught me. And, experience is going to be the biggest teacher. I have a lot of friends who went to jail. Some friends, when I grew up, they unfortunately lost their lives to the streets at an early age. But being a bigger person doesn't mean you have to be the person who always look for revenge, always look to have the last word, always look to, be that person who everybody looks up to say that mean shit. Like, oh, I know he gonna get right if he say something to him. You don't want to be that person. You want to be the person to say, you know what, you got it, and walk away. That right there, there's more power in silence than anything else there is on earth. And you have to keep moving in life regardless of how many obstacles you face. Because a lot of people, they have one delay, they have one blockage, and they think that's the rest of the world that's gonna fall beneath them. And I tell people, this too shall pass. Like you had worse days. You survived 100% of the days where you felt like you were gonna not survive, and you made it. And you made it out the jungle. And the jungle isn't the hood. The jungle isn't public systems. The jungle is, in my opinion, the mindset around conversation, the mindset around your value, the mindset around your well-being. And, I try to tell that to my friends. I'm like, bro, you don't got to give that person no energy. I'm telling you, that person's going to hurt more when you don't speak to them ever again. And they're going to respect that because they feel as if like, wow, you have a maturity level that they can't see themselves at. But they aspire to get there, but they can't because you didn't give them that opportunity to go back and forth with them. And I feel like a lot of people fall victim because in society we're always thinking about you have to have a vengeance. You have to avenge somebody when they do something wrong to you or your friends. And, being a bigger person doesn't mean you have to do everything. You don't have to take up everybody's problems. You don't have to be the person where everybody calls for the rescue. Be that person that people call on to saying, hey, listen, man, I respect the way you handled that conversation the other day. How do you get to that certain point of peace and stability in your life where you don't really listen to outside noise? And, the best thing I try to tell people is know yourself. The truest person that you ever want to know is yourself. Like if you can't lie, lie to somebody else, but don't lie to yourself. Like if you lie, you're lying to yourself. You're lying because you're depreciating your value by lying. Like if you want something better in your life and you continuously to entertain it, or you continuously to, go back and forth with it, you're devaluing yourself. You're devaluing your face card. Like, be real. If somebody came up to Jay-Z and say, hey, Jay-Z, you're a horrible rapper, he'd be like, appreciate it. Like, thank you. I appreciate it. And, that's just something somebody could be like, damn, like, okay, he didn't give me the response I expected, I wanted. And that's going to make the person think about everything like, damn, I might be an asshole. I might be, a little bit silly. So, I try to tell you guys from the bottom of my heart, continue to push through. Like, don't entertain bullshit. People are always going to bring up old things about you. People are always going to try to deter you from your real goals and your real ambitions. And that's why it's so imperative, you guys, is to have the goals and the lightness of just like, just being a high spiritual energy thriving person. You don't want nobody to mess with that type of energy or that aura you have, because that could deter you from a lot of blessings that's coming your way. So like I said, guys, keep chasing your dreams, man, regardless of how people are looking at you, regardless of what people think about you. Continuously push forward, continuously work together and collab with others who are looking to better you and better themselves. Regardless of how people treat themselves, treat yourself the way you want to be treated. I don't care if somebody's always doing something in themselves. Don't look at that like a influence or inspirational motivation. Look at it how you could take from what other people are doing, which are mistakes, and take away the mistakes and only take the positive. And that's how you're going to be great. So, this podcast was fairly short, but I want to always let you guys know that you're doing a great job at whatever you do. It's going to be hard, when you start maturing, when you start leveling up, when you start taking your spirituality and your independence and stability serious. And it's going to get lonely when you start taking your life real serious, because then you're going to see who's really not serious about themselves, and therefore that's going to create that distance. So I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. It's been an amazing journey on Road to Billions, man. It's May 20th to be exact. But, over these next couple months is going to be a different type of lifestyle for not only for myself, but for you guys. I'm praying for you guys to have the best of the best come your way. And like I said, we all just putting in work. And so it's been an amazing journey once again. Check out Road to Billions, man. All my previous episodes. Continuously to forward this message to other people and share and rate this podcast, man. I appreciate you guys once again. Thank you for checking out Road to Billions podcast. I'm out.